Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of the 26th day of June 2021. It is a Saturday. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades amongst the like. Well, it's each his own risk. Of course, their own reward. Go over Bitcoin, a little over a couple altcoins, but also talk about a cartoon. Very, very old one. Not quite, but 100 years old, 3/4 of a century, in the closer ballpark area at the end of the video. Before all this was going on in here, a beautiful uptrend breaking out from around 10,000, having gains of about 6x. Technically even larger than that, but we'll say 6x gains. Many of these higher highs and higher lows. There's a higher low November 27th. We can count this as a higher low December 11th. And of course the highs in here. Significant higher lows. Several of these come down. This is at like 31,000. Comes down here in January. Down again. Oh, it looks like it's going to break down, but it didn't. Sometimes bear setups just don't break out. And then if not, expect fast moves in the opposite direction. Yeah, you know what? I'll count that. Of course, same thing if a breakout doesn't happen as well. It's polar opposite. This high in here was technically higher, but lower low. Kind of matching to a degree though. Lower high. Enough where price action really unable to get much above the 18 highs. Where in here, you can see it's trying to break out, failed breakout if anything, on the 14th of April. Or 13th, whatever. Supporting successfully at the 50,000 mark within this move, and then in here only lasting a couple of days, and if you don't find support at a key level, expect a fast concise move to the next one. Oh boy, was it ever. And at the 33,000 mark, it hits it on the 19th of May. A couple days later it does again, as well as the next day, or a couple days after that. So 3 times over one situation. Then within a span of 2 days on May 29th and May 30th, the second situation. It did so the previous time it managed to get up to about the 18 average of closes, right in here. This time it got to the 18 average of highs and a matching high to the previous one. And then over a span of really just 1 day, June the 8th, and I guess the day before and after as well, but whatever. For that period of time, it has situation number 3. This time, it gets above the 18 average of highs for a few days, breaks the previous 2 resistance highs that was mentioned before. A little bit of a failed breakout then. Unable to successfully correct this move when we can see that the 18 average of lows was more of a resistance. And then you look at the 61.8% fib in that area too, which would have been from like this high to this low, so somewhere around here. It supported for a bit and then broke down. Situation number 4 started June 21st, and we're basically still at it. We're below that level now. This move had a 3-day rally coming up to near the 18 average of closes. It also resisted this area of previous support area, or that's why I like to say come back to where we came from. The general area of what this area is where it came to as resistance. And then this breakdown below in here. To me, this looks like a move that's going to take us down to 20. If you really want to bet on it and you have Bitcoin, you can sell it and then buy it back later. I'm not going to be in that camp. But if you decide to do that, risk-reward management. If you do such and you win, you'll get about 50% more back. Or you can buy it back for about 2/3 the cost, all that type of fun stuff. And then, if you really want to get super aggressive, which if I'm not doing this, what I just stated, I'm definitely not doing this either. You sell your Bitcoin again, and then you turn that into one of those like ETF funds where you like double or triple or 10 times or 1 million short times the market. And have some fun with it. And then when it goes up big, you sell that, then you buy the Bitcoin back with it. Then you get more of a return. And just that. It's all part of risk reward gambling management, and those are huge gambles when you get into those multiple X funds. Only recommended, of course, amongst the day trading scenario. 4-hour term time frame on Bitcoin just showing weakness amongst the 18 average of lows is over the last 3-4 periods, just resisting amongst this declining 18 in here. Amongst the single hour, this is, I guess, continuous move. 2,300 hours, it doesn't stop until like 1,300 the next day. It's like 14 or so consecutive, whatever, 15, whatever. Whole whack of down moves. And then a pretty poor rally. But it didn't sell off much, and then a bit better of a poor rally. And then a decent size, normal, what you would expect to make a noticeable low from the area of 31.4 down to 30, let's call it 30 and low change. And then this rally has come up to the 18. Higher low, okay. So that's great. So that's the key thing with any of these Dow moves is it's got to be making higher lows on these shorter term and then the bit after that, 4 after that. But it makes some higher highs and higher lows. But first higher lows is the big one. Okay, so now an attempt to make a higher high is where it's in place. Still hasn't done that part yet. And even if it does that, it could still have a short-lived move after that. But so you have a move from here, higher low. Well, now that it's made a move to this high, I kind of want to see a higher low even from this breakout point in here, like around 31.3, and it is going down, if it's, of course, going to go down. Of course, that's all short-term analysis talk when I'm looking at this via that of the single-hour term time frame. And then just looking at some quick long-term charts. On the weekly term, this is the first move, correctionary move it's had within the 18 since the break it. It got it above 10. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could count that, but if you want to be official, it never did touch the 18 highs on the lowest price on the J25 stamp. Not even close on these two here. So it did on the April 12th. And it had continuation for about 3 more periods of this sideways consolidation amongst pretty much in the 50s. 50 to 50, the 50s. Small action below 50, or small time, very rare was it below 50, very rare was it above 60. And then we've got below this, and it's reacted such. What's now period 5 since that decent red period of just the sideways consolidation. And again, like I showed to start, all of the hits on the key fib market 33. So it just seems more likely that it's going to do what I've said so many times, and the verbiage of filling empty space, and that of low, low. I mean, technically, if it comes back to 12, that's a pretty good high. That's a higher low. That's if it comes back to 12. Because the last kilo was like 5,000. The last area where we came from and congested at was 10. To that of, on the short run, 13, 14. And then when you include this is that 20 number. So to me, a move into here, maybe that, I mean, if we're going to have any correction, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And that's, of course, on a bullish level. Bearish level, it's obviously going to hit there before it goes down there. Not saying that will or will not happen, but it does seem as if a little bit of further correction is going to come in play. And what does this market do when it reaches below the 18 average? Move drawings, yeah. On the this thing. Well, then here, got below it, and then it had a long correctionary phase before just one leg lower. And I guess it did again, but yeah. Here it had a small move, corrected, another leg, that's it. Here it had one fast move that recovered instantly. And since this awesome move, it is, again, just been one move and maybe a second, or a continuation of just a bit below the 18. It does, again, a look as if it's going to make a move of a 50-60% down play to about 20. And that's just how it is. Monthly chart. And amongst this bull market, still rising 18, however, correction area as well. Have a sideways move in April, but a significant down move at 35%, and it's now down 16, and the month's almost over. So, unless a great rally can happen from here in the next few days, it's going to be another down month. It's pretty much around the 18 average of closes, the front weighted one. And if it comes back down to this area, it would slightly below the 18 lows. And that's common within a correctionary move. The question then would be, can it hold and stay within it? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it's had one key move from this here and this high. You correct it. Technically, it holds and stays within. But oh boy, it was a long wait when it include this failed breakdown. And then it continues doing what it did in here for a substantial period of time. After showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs for like 4 periods, it had a very good individual move. This was a much better individual move along the way. So within saying that, it's had a much better correction in here than any of the intermediate ones this has had. I think that's important to note, that if it does make a breakout in here, and it does, when it's ready, you start to see it go up, and it all can come down to breaking above this high, and you see that around 2/3 or between 70,000, 75,000. Okay, I guess we're going to see 180, 200, 250, and it's going to be concise. Who knows if it'll be fast or not? Probably yes, but who knows? But concise, this is a concise move as well. But again, you need to see it when it makes it to that point. But do we, and you can count this as point A, point B, point C, point D, point E. Where's point F going to be? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? Yeah, I don't know. And then point G, of course, would be the next high. That's if it's going to happen. But we're 18 average of lows here comes in around 22,000. So yeah, just be pretty much at that level, correcting there. And it's very common to have corrections within that type of, at that mark as it is anyway. And I'm just going to do one altcoin. It's going to be Theta. I'll do it against the Bitcoin and against the dollar. 20,000 Satoshi against the BTC. And I mean, I remember for so long down on the little area here, like 1,200, 1,300. I was hoping it was going to go down to like 700. I thought it was going to. It really looked to me as if it was, never did. But I was able to get good accumulation as it was anyway. Overall, it was in a nice little consolidation range between like 5,000 and 1,000. It pierced above it on the May month of that year. But that doesn't get you anywhere as far as we've broken it. We're in the next level now. And you barely viewed it. Now you're back to where you came from. But you can see how it corrected it so well amongst the 18. And then it does it again, it tests it, and even breaks the previous barely break. Comes down, makes a higher low on good volatility. Although, this is a poor log scale, so I shouldn't say that. Good move again, and then monstrously nice move, or a good move anyway. Again, I shouldn't say monster move because of the volatility. This is a poor log scale. So after that move, it's had a few periods of consolidation. If it goes down, I mean, going back to where we came from, 7,000, 5,000, it's just as it goes. Take a look at this on, we'll just do weekly next. So that's a lot of continuation within the 18. It's still rising, albeit barely, and it won't be, if it doesn't rally basically within next week, the 18 average will stop rising. On the daily, we can see a little bit of a failed breakout here, but what didn't accompany it was a fast move in the opposite direction. Now, if it does, it's going to be happening soon, because that's what to me it looks like this is a bearish mode. Again, I'm not going to do the play work. And I could do this to sell Theta, put into Bitcoin, which I might as well put in the dollar, I suppose, and then buy it back later, because I'm going to be showing Theta against the dollar next, and it's a bearish setup as well. But I have this high, we break out in here. I mean, so far so good with this correctionary move. And there we go. This is an attempt to get it started. Not so fast. This selling in here is now accompanied by all of this. I guess I could still say support is this little area here next. Going below that, maybe 10 down to about this level. That's just as it goes. That'd be a pretty significant move, especially if Bitcoin goes down with it too, because looking at Theta against the dollar, currently 6 and change. And I put the same Fibonacci lines in the same day for this like I did Bitcoin. And it's been congesting well, or within this area here at 6 and so at both 6. There's a little bit of this trying to break out in here, not so fast. Support failing at the 7 and change. Support failing at 820. It's resisted 7 and change here. And we see it breaking down like this within this fib line. Next key level is $3.77. And what numbers did I do it from? Probably these lows here. It would be pretty much just by looking at this blind, too even, I'd be thinking. This is a good log scale chart. I remember, I think I said that I didn't think the dollar would be much resistance on the way up. Did I say that? I'm basically about why I'm saying that now is I don't think it's going to be support on the way down. After the next key level, yeah, it does look to me as if 2 would be that. It looks to me as if it'd be between 50 and like 80 cents if this level doesn't hold. That's why I'm saying that. To me, though, I think it's part of the game. You have within the move, the secular trend, all that type of stuff. You're going to have a significantly noticeable sell-off where all these previous ones are all going to be meh compared to the one going on now. And the meh ones are this one down here, this correctionary move, and so on and so forth. So it would be normal market behavior for these things to go down to like $1.33, buck even or something, or even just 2. And then later this thing is like 88 and 126 and whatnot. No, that's just what these markets happen to be. And the risk reward overall is it's right or it's wrong. If it's right and you're talking about these types of X gains, it's like, wow, they're big. They're large. Especially if you can protect profits along the way. And then the risk factor, if you're not right, well, whatever you put in, you could lose it all. It's just 100% risk. If it happens, it happens. And then again, same thing if it goes up big. Like if it goes to 1,000, if it happens, it happens. That's just as it is. All right. I'm going to put silver up for the conclusion of this video. And I guess if anyone would ask me things like market trends, how to read charts, how to balance portfolios, stuff like that, I can help out a lot in those things. I'm really just saying because I'm going somewhere with this. And if you were to ask me something like how to play a violin, the only advice I could give you is go on the internet and type how to play a violin, and maybe you'll find a video or a website or something that can help you. It's not like I've ever watched one, and I haven't. And maybe you want to like take over the world. I suppose it'd be the same thing, albeit I have recently watched a video about taking over the world. Maybe you want to search something like this to find it. An early warning cartoon, how to take over the world. It's quite old, but at the same point, showing a lot of interesting steps and topics along the way. It's about 2 minutes long. Looks to be made at the earliest late 30s, but probably mid 40s. And the latest, unless of course a recent one made it look like it was that old. At the latest, early 50s. So it has a lot of time to it. Now it's been relatively recently uploaded. I found 2 variants on YouTube, very recent on YouTube, and as well on BitChute. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.